Chapter 1, The Dreamer. The story begins with Alex, an 18-year-old living in a quaint town in England. Alex has a comfortable life, everything a teenager could want. The family is well off, living in a large, beautiful house with all the modern amenities. Alex's father is a successful businessman, known for his hard work and dedication, while his mother is a warm, loving presence who has always supported the family. From the outside, Alex's life seems perfect: great friends, a solid education, and a promising future. But something is missing. Deep down, Alex feels trapped, suffocated by the expectations placed upon them. They've always dreamed of traveling the world, seeing new places, and meeting new people, living life beyond the borders of their quiet town. However, the family doesn't share the same vision. Alex spends most days daydreaming about adventures in far-off lands. While sitting at the dinner table or during quiet evenings in their room, Alex often imagines wandering through bustling cities, exploring dense forests, or sailing across vast oceans. Mind that grows louder each day. Despite this inner calling, Alex's family sees a different future. Their father, a strict yet loving figure, believes Alex should follow in his footsteps and pursue a practical, stable career in business. He's proud of the life he has built for his family and wants Alex to continue the legacy, settle down, and make something concrete of their life. In his mind, travel is a distraction, something for holidays or vacations, not a serious pursuit. A tense conversation unfolds one evening when Alex finally decides to express their feelings. The family is gathered in the living room, enjoying a quiet night together. The sound of the fire crackling fills the room, but Alex's mind is elsewhere. Summoning the courage, Alex speaks up, their voice uncertain at first but gaining strength. "Mom, Dad, I've been thinking," Alex starts, hesitating. "I don't think the path you want for me is the one I want to follow. I have this dream, this need to see the world, to travel and experience new things." The room falls silent. Alex's father, sitting in his large leather chair, leans forward, concern etched on his face. "Alex, traveling is risky. It's unpredictable. You have a good life here, opportunities waiting for you. Why would you want to leave all of this behind?" Alex's mother, seated next to the father, glances between them, worry in her eyes. She has always been a gentle mediator, and while she understands Alex's adventurous spirit, she shares her husband's fears. "I know you want the best for me," Alex responds, trying to keep calm. "But I feel like there's more out there for me. I need to experience life for myself, make my own path." Their father sighs, his expression softening but still firm. "I just don't want you to get hurt, Alex. The world isn't as safe as you think. You're too young to understand the dangers out there. This moment sets the tone for the rest of the chapter, a push and pull between family expectations and personal desires. Alex feels the weight of their father's words but knows that their dream isn't something they can ignore. It's growing stronger each day, and despite the love and comfort of their home, the thought of staying in this small town forever feels unbearable. As Alex heads to their room, they glance out the window at the night sky, stars twinkling in the distance. There's a whole world out there, waiting. And Alex knows, deep down, that one day, they will have to chase that dream no matter what. Chapter 2, The Decision. The tension in Alex's home lingers long after the conversation with their father. Every time they sit down for dinner or walk through the halls of the house, there's an unspoken weight between them. Their father's disapproval hangs in the air like a storm cloud, and Alex feels increasingly restless. Days pass, but the itch to leave, to explore the world, only grows stronger. Alex tries to distract themselves by spending time with friends, diving into schoolwork, or listening to music. But no matter how much they try to ignore it, the pull toward adventure is undeniable. One afternoon, after a particularly frustrating day at school, Alex heads to a quiet park nearby to clear their head. It's a peaceful spot, with tall trees and a small pond where the ducks glide over the water. Alex sits on a bench, staring out at the water, lost in thought. That's when Emily, Alex's closest friend, appears. Emily is the kind of friend who understands without needing explanations. She's always been supportive, but lately, even she's noticed Alex's growing dissatisfaction with life at home. You seem distant lately, Emily says, sitting down next to Alex. Like your head is somewhere else. Alex lets out a heavy sigh. It is. I can't stop thinking about leaving, Emily. I feel like there's this whole world out there waiting for me, and I'm stuck here, doing the same thing every day. Emily looks at Alex with concern but nods in understanding. It's scary, though, isn't it? Leaving everything behind? Alex turns to Emily, eyes wide with frustration and longing. Yeah, it is. But staying here, living this life that everyone expects me to, it feels even scarier. I feel like I'm losing myself every day. They sit in silence for a moment, both contemplating what's at stake. Alex doesn't need to explain it further, Emily gets it. She's known Alex for years, and she's seen this restlessness building. What about your dad? Emily asks cautiously. You know he won't be happy if you go. Alex's chest tightens at the thought. Their father's words still echo in their mind, the world is dangerous. You're not ready. You'll regret it. He had always been practical, rooted in reality, and Alex knew that disobeying him would strain their relationship. I know, Alex says quietly. That's what makes this so hard. I don't want to hurt him, but I can't live his dream. I have to live mine. Emily places a hand on Alex's shoulder, offering a small smile. I think you already know what you want to do. You just need to decide if you're brave enough to do it. Her words hit Alex hard. She's right. The decision isn't really about whether or not to go. Alex knows deep down that leaving is the only way to feel alive, to break free from the suffocating expectations of others. The real challenge is finding the courage to take that first step. That night, Alex lies awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. The house is quiet, but inside, their mind is racing. Thoughts swirl about what it would mean to leave, the excitement of new places, the uncertainty of being alone, the disappointment in their father's eyes, the fear of the unknown. But most of all, Alex feels the burning desire for freedom. The next morning, with a renewed sense of purpose, Alex decides to talk to their father again. They can't leave without at least trying to explain one more time. The kitchen is bright with sunlight, and the smell of freshly brewed coffee fills the air. Their father is sitting at the table, reading the newspaper, just like he does every morning. Dad, can we talk? Alex asks, standing in the doorway. He looks up, lowering his paper, and nods. Of course. What's on your mind? Alex sits down, nerves tightening in their stomach, but this time, they don't hesitate. I've made a decision. I know you want me to stay, to follow the path you've set for me, but I can't. I need to go. I need to see the world, to figure out who I am outside of this town. Their father is silent for a long moment, his expression unreadable. When he finally speaks, his voice is calm but firm. Alex, I don't understand why you feel the need to throw everything away for something so uncertain. You have everything here: stability, security, a future. Alex takes a deep breath, steadying their resolve. I know, Dad. And I'm grateful for all of it. But it's not what I want. I want to make my own way, to find my own path. I know it's risky, but I can't stay here and wonder what if for the rest of my life. Their father sighs deeply, setting the newspaper aside. I just don't want you to get hurt, Alex. The world isn't as kind as you think. You don't have to go out there to learn that. I know the risks, Alex replies softly, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. There's a long silence, the weight of the conversation filling the room. Alex's father looks at them, and for the first time, there's a flicker of understanding in his eyes. He still doesn't agree, but he realizes that Alex is serious, that this isn't just a passing phase. I can't stop you, he says finally, his voice thick with emotion. But just know that this door will always be open. If you ever need to come back, you'll have a place here. Tears sting Alex's eyes, but they manage to hold them back. Thank you, Dad." With the decision made, a weight lifts from Alex's chest. The next few days are a blur of packing, saying goodbyes, and mentally preparing for the journey ahead. The future is uncertain, and the path isn't clear, but Alex knows one thing for sure: this is the beginning of something bigger. Standing at the edge of the road, suitcase in hand, Alex takes one last look at the house. The life they've known, the security, the comfort, it's all behind them now. As they take their first step toward the unknown, excitement mixes with fear. But Alex is ready. Ready to chase the dream. Chapter 3, First Journey. The day finally arrives. The sun is barely rising when Alex steps out of the house, suitcase in hand. The cool morning air brushes against their skin, filling them with a sense of anticipation and a hint of nerves. This is at the start of the journey they've been dreaming about for so long. They've decided to start small, taking a bus to a nearby city, Brighton, a vibrant place by the sea that's only a few hours away from home but feels like a different world altogether. It's not the global adventure Alex longs for, but it's a step in the right direction. It's the first taste of freedom. As Alex boards the bus, they glance back at their house one last time. The familiar windows, the neatly trimmed lawn, it all feels distant now, like a chapter that's closing. The bus rumbles to life, and with it, a wave of mixed emotions washes over Alex. Excitement, fear, uncertainty. Settling into their seat, Alex pulls out their phone and puts in their earbuds, trying to drown out the thoughts racing in their head. Music plays softly, but it does little to quiet the unease. Am I really ready for this? They wonder. The weight of the unknown is heavy, but the pull of adventure is even stronger. The journey to Brighton is smooth at first. Alex watches the countryside rush past the windows, feeling the tension from home slowly easing. There's something exhilarating about being on their own, no rules, no expectations, just the open road ahead. They daydream about what the city will bring: new people, new experiences, maybe even a glimpse of what the rest of the world has to offer. As the bus nears Brighton, the landscape changes. The sea comes into view, and with it, the city's iconic boardwalk. It's bustling with life even at this early hour. People walk along the beach, small shops are opening, and the fresh scent of the ocean fills the air. Alex feels a thrill run through them. This is exactly what they've been craving: a place that's alive, full of energy and possibilities. But soon, the excitement starts to dim as reality sets in. Alex steps off the bus and suddenly feels very small in the midst of the city's activity. The streets are busy, and the people around them seem to be rushing off in all directions. For the first time, Alex realizes just how alone they are. There's no one here to guide them, no familiar faces to fall back on. Feeling a bit overwhelmed, Alex decides to find a quiet spot to gather their thoughts. They walk along the boardwalk, trying to shake the unease. The beach is beautiful, the waves gently crashing against the shore, but it does little to calm their nerves. What now? They think. After walking for a while, Alex spots a small cafe tucked away from the main strip. It looks cozy, with mismatched chairs and handwritten chalkboard menus. Deciding it's as good a place as any to start, Alex walks inside and orders a coffee, settling into a corner seat by the window. Sipping their drink, Alex starts to feel a little better. The cafe is filled with locals chatting, laughing, going about their lives. It's a comforting scene, a reminder that even in a new place, there are moments of normalcy. But just as they begin to relax, the first challenge strikes. Dark clouds roll in, and suddenly, a heavy downpour begins. Alex hadn't prepared for rain, and their thin jacket isn't enough to keep them dry. The cafe begins to fill with people seeking shelter from the storm, and soon it's crowded, noisy, and chaotic. Alex can feel the walls closing in. The once cozy atmosphere now feels suffocating. With no other option, Alex decides to leave, hoping to find their way to the hostel they booked. But as they step outside, the rain is relentless. The wind picks up, and before long, Alex is drenched. Their phone's GPS struggles to work in the storm, and every street looks the same under the sheet of rain. Panic starts to rise. Why did I think I could do this? Alex thinks, feeling the weight of the decision crashing down. Wandering through the rain, lost and cold, Alex starts to feel the first pangs of regret. This was supposed to be the start of their adventure, but instead, it feels like a disaster. The freedom they craved now feels isolating, the thrill of being on their own replaced by fear of being in over their head. After what feels like hours, Alex finally stumbles upon the hostel, a small, unassuming building tucked between two larger ones. They rush inside, dripping water everywhere. The receptionist, a kind-looking woman in her 20s, greets them with a sympathetic smile. "Rough start, huh?" she says, handing Alex a towel. Alex nods, too exhausted to speak. After checking in, they make their way to the shared room, change into dry clothes, and collapse onto the bed. The day had started with so much hope, but now all Alex feels is exhaustion and self-doubt. They lie there for a while, staring at the ceiling, questioning everything. But as the storm begins to clear outside, Alex notices something. The rain may have soaked them, but it didn't break them. They made it through their first real challenge. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't what they expected, but they survived. The realization brings a small flicker of pride. Maybe they can do this after all. The sound of laughter from the common area drifts into the room, pulling Alex from their thoughts. Curious, they get up and walk down the hall, following the voices. In the common area, a group of travelers around Alex's age are sitting together, talking and laughing, sharing stories of their own adventures. One of them, a guy with curly hair and an easy smile, looks up and waves Alex over. "Hey, you just get in?" Alex hesitates but then nods, walking over to join the group. "Yeah, first day." The guy grins. "Rough day, huh?" "Don't worry, we've all been there. Brighton can be a bit much at first. But you'll get the hang of it." As Alex sits down, they listen to the group's stories, tales of misadventures, of getting lost, of things going wrong but somehow working out in the end. It's comforting, hearing that everyone else has struggled too. It makes Alex feel less alone, more capable. By the end of the night, Alex feels lighter, like a weight has been lifted. The day had been tough, but it was also the first step. And now, surrounded by new friends who understand the ups and downs of travel, Alex feels a little more confident in their ability to face whatever comes next. As they head back to their room that night, Alex looks out the window at the now clear sky. The adventure has only just begun, and while it might not always be easy, it's already proving to be worth it. Chapter 4: Facing Danger. After spending a couple of days in Brighton, Alex begins to feel more comfortable navigating the city. The initial fear of being alone has faded a little, and the connections made with fellow travelers at the hostel have boosted Alex's confidence. There's a sense of routine now, waking up, exploring the city, meeting new people, and discovering places that weren't on any map. But it's not long before Alex's sense of security is tested in a way they hadn't expected. One evening, after a long day of walking along the boardwalk and visiting the famous Brighton Pier, Alex and a few new friends from the hostel decide to head into the heart of the city. They've heard of a cool, hidden cafe that stays open late and serves some of the best coffee in town. The idea of sitting somewhere cozy after a day of exploration sounds perfect. As they walk through the lively streets, full of bustling bars and street performers, the energy of the city feels electrifying. Alex chats with the others, feeling a growing sense of belonging. But as they venture farther from the main strip, the streets become quieter, less populated, and more unfamiliar. The group laughs and talks, but Alex can't shake a growing unease. The tall buildings and narrow alleyways cast long shadows, and the lively crowds have all but disappeared. The cafe should be just around the corner, according to one of their friends, but something doesn't feel right. Suddenly, two figures step out of a side alley, blocking their path. They look rough, unkempt, their eyes sharp and predatory. Alex's heart begins to race as the reality of the situation sinks in. These aren't friendly locals. They're looking for trouble. One of the strangers, a tall man with a menacing grin, steps forward. You kids lost? This isn't the place for tourists at this time of night. The tension is palpable. The group exchanges nervous glances, and Alex feels their stomach drop. They've heard stories about situations like this about pickpockets and worse, but they never thought they'd find themselves in one. One of Alex's friends, Emily, tries to defuse the situation with a nervous smile. We're just looking for a cafe. Didn't realize we were off track. The second man, shorter but with a hard look in his eyes, smirks. Oh, you're off track, alright. How about you hand over what you've got? Wallets, phones, whatever you've got, we'll take it. Panic surges through Alex. Their mind races, trying to figure out what to do. They've never been in a situation like this before. Fight or flight. But there's nowhere to run. The streets behind them are empty, and these two men seem determined to get what they want. I don't think we want any trouble, Alex says, trying to sound calm but feeling anything but. Their voice wavers slightly, betraying the fear bubbling beneath the surface. The taller man takes a step closer. Trouble? No, we don't want trouble either. Just your stuff. Easy, right? One of Alex's friends, Jack, looks like he's about to make a move, his fists clenched. But before he can do anything, the shorter man pulls something from his jacket. A knife. The blade glints under the dim streetlight, and suddenly, the stakes are much higher. The sight of the weapon makes Alex's heart pound. This just got very real. Fear grips Alex's entire body. Time seems to slow down as the two strangers close in. Their friends are frozen, unsure of what to do. The sound of the city feels far away now, muffled by the fear clouding Alex's mind. Alex knows they need to do something. If they don't act, someone could get hurt. Then, almost instinctively, Alex speaks up, their voice shaky but loud enough to catch the attention of everyone. Look, we don't have a lot on us. Just take the cash and let us go. They slowly reach into their pocket and pull out a few crumpled bills, holding them out toward the men. The others, following Alex's lead, begin to do the same, pulling out small amounts of cash, showing they mean no harm. The taller man eyes Alex carefully, considering the offer. His hand twitches as if deciding whether to take the money or push further. The tension is thick in the air, but after what feels like an eternity, he steps forward and grabs the bills from Alex's hand. Smart kid, he says, backing away slightly. See? No need for things to get messy. The shorter man, still gripping the knife, seems less satisfied. He glares at the group, his eyes filled with frustration. For a moment, it looks like he might push things further, but the taller man pulls him back. Let's go, the taller man says, his voice firm. We got what we came for. With one last look, the two men disappear back into the alley, leaving Alex and their friends standing there, shaken but unharmed. For a few seconds, no one speaks. The adrenaline is still pumping through Alex's veins, their body trembling as the reality of the situation settles in. They've just faced real danger, something they hadn't prepared for. Emily is the first to break the silence. Are you okay? She asks, her voice barely above a whisper, looking at Alex with wide, scared eyes. Alex nods, though they're not sure they believe it. Yeah, I'm okay. Are you guys? Jack lets out a shaky breath, trying to appear tough but clearly rattled. I thought they were going to do something worse. Good thinking, Alex. You kept things calm. Alex doesn't feel particularly brave. Their hands are still shaking, and their mind is racing with what-ifs. What if they hadn't backed down? What if someone got hurt? The thought is terrifying. As they walk back toward the brighter, safer streets, the group sticks close together, no one wanting to stray too far. The experience has left them all a little shaken, and the excitement of the evening is long gone. Now, Alex just wants to get back to the safety of the hostel. Once they arrive, the relief is palpable. The familiar, warm atmosphere of the hostel feels like a sanctuary after the fear and danger they faced on the dark streets. As Alex settles onto their bed, exhaustion hits like a tidal wave, but sleep doesn't come easily. Lying there in the dark, Alex realizes that this journey, this adventure they've dreamed of for so long, isn't just about fun and exploration. It's about facing challenges, real danger, and navigating situations they never thought they'd be in. They know now that traveling isn't always about the beauty of new places. It's also about survival, about learning how to adapt, and about the strength it takes to push forward even when things go wrong. But despite the fear, despite the danger, Alex feels something else beneath it all: resilience. They faced something scary, something dangerous, and they got through it. They didn't freeze, and they didn't let the fear overwhelm them. And while the experience left them rattled, it also left them stronger. As Alex finally drifts off to sleep, they know this journey is far from over. There will be more challenges, more unexpected dangers, but they feel a new sense of determination. No matter what comes next, they're ready to face it. Chapter 5: New Friends, New Perspective. The morning after the confrontation with the two men in the alley, Alex wakes up feeling emotionally drained. The events of the previous night still weigh heavily on their mind. It's strange how quickly a sense of adventure can be replaced by fear. They lie in bed for a few minutes, staring at the ceiling, trying to process everything. Despite the unease, Alex knows they can't let one bad experience define the entire journey. There's still so much more to see and do. But the question lingers: is this really what I want? Alex heads down to the hostel's common room, hoping a change of scenery might help shake off the lingering dread. The room is buzzing with energy, travelers from all over the world sharing stories, planning their next stops, and laughing about the minor misadventures of their journeys. Alex grabs a cup of coffee and finds a seat near the window, trying to blend into the background, still unsure of how to feel. That's when Nina, one of the travelers from the hostel, approaches. Nina is from Spain, a bit older than Alex, with a warm, easygoing nature that instantly makes people feel comfortable. She's been traveling for years and has seen more of the world than Alex could even imagine. "Hey, Alex, you look like you could use some company," Nina says with a smile, sitting down at the table across from them. Alex nods, grateful for the distraction. "Yeah, just processing some things." Nina tilts her head, studying Alex with a knowing look. "Bad night?" Alex hesitates, then nods again. "We got mugged last night. It was terrifying. I'm not sure I'm cut out for this whole travel thing." Nina's eyes widen in sympathy, but she doesn't seem shocked. "I'm sorry that happened. It's tough, especially when you're just starting out. But don't let it get to you too much. Traveling is full of ups and downs. You'll have bad nights, but you'll also have some of the best moments of your life." Alex takes a deep breath, trying to absorb Nina's words. "It's just, I thought it would be different, you know? More fun, more exciting. Not scary." Nina smiles softly. "It can be all those things: exciting, fun, and yes, sometimes scary. But that's what makes it real. You're out here in the world, learning and growing, even from the tough stuff. And you're not alone. You'll meet people along the way who'll help you through the hard times." Alex leans back in their chair, the tension in their shoulders easing a little. "Have you ever been through something like that?" Nina's smile fades slightly, and her gaze becomes distant, as if she's recalling a distant memory. "Yeah, more than once. I was pickpocketed in Barcelona, got lost in a remote part of Indonesia, and even spent a night in a hospital in Thailand after I got sick from some street food. At the time, it felt like the end of the world. But I got through it, and every time, I came out stronger." The honesty in Nina's voice is comforting. It reminds Alex that they're not alone in their struggles. Every traveler has a story, a challenge they've faced, and yet, they keep going. That's part of the journey. Just then, a few other travelers from the hostel join the table: Luca, an artist from Italy, and Maya, a photographer from New Zealand. They're carrying plates of food and chattering excitedly about their plans for the day. Alex doesn't know them well yet, but they've exchanged pleasantries over the past few days. "Alex, you should come with us today," Maya says, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "We're heading to the Seven Sisters Cliffs for a hike. It's supposed to be gorgeous, and we could all use a break from the city, right?" Alex hesitates, feeling torn. The idea of hiking along the cliffs, far away from the chaos of the city, sounds tempting. But after last night, they're not sure if they're ready to be out in the world again. Nina notices Alex's hesitation and gives a gentle nudge. "It'll do you good. Sometimes nature is the best way to clear your head." After a moment's thought, Alex nods. "Okay, I'll go." A few hours later, Alex, Nina, Luca, and Maya are on a train, speeding through the countryside toward the Seven Sisters Cliffs. The tension from the night before gradually fades as they chat and share travel stories. For the first time since arriving in Brighton, Alex feels a sense of camaraderie. These people may have been strangers just a few days ago, but now, they're companions on the same path. When they arrive at the cliffs, the view is breathtaking. The sheer white cliffs rise dramatically from the blue sea, with lush green hills rolling down toward the edge. The fresh sea air, the wide open space, it feels like a world away from the tight, crowded streets of the city. As they begin their hike along the cliffs, the group naturally splits into pairs. Maya and Luca walk ahead, engrossed in conversation about photography techniques, while Alex finds themselves walking beside Nina. The sound of waves crashing against the cliffs below is soothing. And Alex feels a calmness that has been missing since the incident the night before. "This is what I needed," Alex admits, glancing over at Nina. "I didn't realize how much I was holding on to all that fear." Nina nods, taking in the scenery with a peaceful expression. "Travel has a way of doing that, giving you a chance to reset. You just have to find your balance." They walk in comfortable silence for a while, both of them lost in their thoughts. The beauty of the cliffs is overwhelming, and Alex can't help but feel a renewed sense of purpose. Yes, the journey had started off rocky, but being here, surrounded by nature and new friends, reminds them of why they wanted to travel in the first place. At one point, they stop at a high point on the cliffs, the view stretching out endlessly in all directions. Nina pulls out a small notebook from her backpack and starts sketching the scene. Alex watches her, impressed by the ease with which she captures the beauty of the place. "Do you ever feel like you want to quit?" Alex asks suddenly, the question surprising even themselves. Nina pauses, looking at Alex with a thoughtful expression. "Sometimes. There are days when it's hard, when I miss home, when I think about giving up. But those days pass. And then you have moments like this, standing on a cliff with the ocean in front of you, realizing how big the world is and how lucky we are to see it." Alex smiles, feeling a weight lift off their chest. They had been so focused on the fear and the danger that they had forgotten about the beauty, the adventure, and the freedom that travel offers. The rest of the day passes in a blur of laughter, exploration, and easy conversation. The group makes their way along the cliffs, stopping for photos, sharing snacks, and enjoying the simple pleasure of being outdoors. By the time they head back to the city, Alex feels lighter, more at peace. Back at the hostel that evening, Alex sits in the common room with their new friends, reflecting on the day. The fear from the night before still lingers at the edges of their mind, but it no longer consumes them. They've learned that traveling isn't just about the destination, it's about the people you meet along the way and the lessons you learn from them. Nina was right, there will be bad days, but there will also be moments of pure joy and connection. And it's in those moments that the true magic of travel happens. As the conversation drifts around the room, with everyone sharing their plans for the next leg of their journey, Alex feels a growing sense of excitement. They're no longer afraid of what might happen next. Instead, they're looking forward to it. This journey is far from over, and whatever challenges come their way, Alex knows they'll be ready to face them with the support of new friends and the perspective they've gained. Chapter 6: A Taste of Freedom. After the hike along the Seven Sisters cliffs and the powerful realization that came with it, Alex feels an undeniable shift. The fear and doubt that had been weighing them down since the mugging in Brighton have started to fade, replaced by a renewed sense of excitement and adventure. Now, every day feels like a new opportunity, a new chapter waiting to be written. The morning after the hike, Alex wakes up with an energy they haven't felt in weeks. The sun streams through the hostel window, casting a warm glow over the room. For the first time in a while, Alex feels truly alive. The world outside doesn't seem so intimidating anymore. In fact, it feels like a playground, waiting to be explored. Alex and the group from the hostel decide to head out again, this time with no fixed plan. The goal is simple: to wander and let the day take them wherever it wants. No schedules, no expectations, just pure, unfiltered exploration. As they walk through Brighton's vibrant streets, Alex notices things they hadn't before. The colors seem brighter, the sounds livelier. The scent of fresh coffee and baked goods drifts through the air as they pass cozy cafes. And street performers play music that seems to sync perfectly with the rhythm of the city. There's something exhilarating about having no plans, no obligations. It's the freedom Alex had always dreamed of. They start their day at Brighton's lanes, a labyrinth of narrow alleyways filled with quirky shops, artisan stalls, and independent boutiques. Alex marvels at the variety of things on display: vintage records, handmade jewelry, unique clothing items. The lanes have a magic all their own, a blend of old-world charm and modern creativity. For Alex, it feels like stepping into a new world within the city. Nina, ever the experienced traveler, encourages the group to try something outside their comfort zones. "Look for something that speaks to you," she says with a grin. "Something you wouldn't normally go for." Alex takes her advice to heart. They stop at a stall selling handmade rings, each one crafted with intricate detail. Alex picks up a small, silver ring shaped like a wave. It's simple but beautiful, and for some reason, it feels like the perfect symbol of their journey so far: the ups and downs, the fluidity of the path, the sense of moving forward. They slip it onto their finger and smile. "I think I found my something." Nina nods approvingly. "Perfect." As the day progresses, the group continues to explore the city. They find themselves at a street market where the smells of international street food fill the air. Luca, the Italian artist, insists they try arancini, fried rice balls stuffed with cheese and meat. Alex, having never had them before, takes a bite and is immediately hooked. The rich flavors, combined with the vibrant atmosphere of the market, create a sensory experience unlike anything they've known before. For Alex, it's moments like these small, seemingly insignificant, where the beauty of travel truly reveals itself. The spontaneous decisions, the unexpected discoveries, the connections made over shared meals. It's not just about visiting famous landmarks or ticking off a list of tourist attractions. It's about being in the world, truly living it. Later in the afternoon, the group heads toward the Brighton Pavilion, an architectural marvel with its exotic, domed design that feels out of place but perfectly suited to the eclectic vibe of the city. They stroll through the gardens, soaking in the peace and quiet after a busy day. Alex watches as people gather on the grass, some picnicking, others playing music, all enjoying the sunshine. It's a slice of life that feels relaxed and carefree. At this moment, Alex reflects on how much they've changed in such a short time. Only a few days ago, they had been overwhelmed by fear, unsure of whether they had made the right decision to leave home. But now, standing here with new friends in a new place, Alex feels a surge of confidence and pride. The journey hasn't been easy, but it's been worth it. Every challenge faced, every fear overcome, has led to this feeling of being truly free. By evening, the group makes their way to Brighton Beach to catch the sunset. The sky is painted in shades of orange, pink, and purple, and the sound of the waves gently lapping at the shore is calming. Alex finds a spot on the pebbled beach and sits down, gazing out at the horizon. There's something about watching the sun dip below the sea that feels like the perfect metaphor for this moment in Alex's life. The sun setting on their old fears, their old self, and a new dawn rising on the horizon, full of possibilities. Maya sits down next to Alex, offering a bottle of water and a friendly smile. "You seem deep in thought." Alex chuckles softly. "Just thinking about how much has changed in such a short time. It feels like I've been here for months, but it's only been days." Maya nods. "That's travel for you. It stretches time, makes you live more in each moment." Alex considers this for a moment. "I think I'm finally starting to understand what Nina meant, about travel being about more than just seeing new places." Maya grins. "Yeah, it's about finding yourself in those places. Seeing the world through a new lens. I think we all come out of it a little different, a little more free." The word free resonates deeply with Alex. That's what this whole journey has been about from the start. Freedom. Freedom from expectations, from the safety net of home, from the fear of the unknown. And now, for the first time, Alex is tasting that freedom, really feeling it. It's intoxicating. As the sun sets, the group starts a small bonfire on the beach, sharing stories and laughter as the night creeps in. The flickering flames cast a warm glow over their faces, and the sound of distant waves provides a calming backdrop. Luca pulls out a small guitar he had been carrying around, and soon, music fills the air. The group sings along, the lyrics mixing with the sound of the ocean, creating a perfect, harmonious moment. Alex leans back on their hands, feeling the cool breeze against their skin and the warmth of the fire on their face. In this moment, everything feels right. The world feels wide open, full of promise and opportunity. And for the first time in a long time, Alex feels fully present, no worries about the future, no fear of what might happen. Just now. Nina catches Alex's eye across the fire and gives a knowing smile. "This is it, Alex," she says softly, though the words carry above the crackle of the fire. "This is what it feels like." Alex smiles back. "Yeah, I think I'm starting to get it." They don't need to explain what it is. It's the feeling that every traveler chases, the sense of belonging to the world, of being free to explore, free to be whoever you want to be. It's a taste of the life Alex had always dreamed of. As the night deepens, the group slowly begins to drift off, one by one heading back to the hostel. Alex stays behind for a moment longer, watching the last of the embers glow softly in the darkness. They take a deep breath, letting the feeling of freedom settle into their bones. Whatever comes next, Alex knows they're ready for it. This is just the beginning. Chapter 7, The Ultimate Test. The next week of Alex's journey is filled with a whirlwind of new experiences, exploring Brighton's hidden gems, trying new foods, meeting travelers from all over the world. Each day brings something unexpected. And Alex is beginning to feel more at home on the road, more comfortable with the idea of navigating the unknown. But then, just when Alex feels they've finally gotten the hang of things, a new challenge presents itself, one that will test their courage and resilience like never before. It starts with an email. One morning, as Alex is enjoying breakfast in the hostel's common room, a notification pings on their phone. They open it, expecting something routine, but their heart sinks when they see it's from their bank. "Suspicious activity detected. Your card has been temporarily blocked." Alex's stomach drops. They open their banking app, their pulse quickening. The balance shows several large withdrawals, transactions Alex didn't make. Their mind races as they try to comprehend what's happening. Someone has access to their account, and now they're effectively stranded in a foreign place with no money. Panic sets in. "What's wrong?" Maya asks, noticing the alarm on Alex's face. Alex shows her the email, explaining the situation in a shaky voice. "I don't know how this happened. I've been so careful, but someone hacked into my account. I'm out of money." Maya's eyes widen with concern, but she remains calm. "Okay, let's not panic. Have you contacted the bank yet?" "I'm going to try," Alex replies, their hands trembling as they dial the bank's customer service number. The call is long and frustrating, filled with hold music and repeated explanations. The bank confirms the fraudulent activity and assures Alex they will investigate, but the process could take days, even weeks. In the meantime, Alex's card is blocked, and they have no immediate access to funds. Hanging up the phone, Alex feels a wave of helplessness wash over them. All the progress they've made, the confidence they've gained over the past weeks seems to slip away in an instant. How can they continue their journey with no money? How will they get by until the bank resolves the issue? Maya and Nina sit down beside Alex, their expressions full of empathy. "I'm so sorry, Alex. This kind of thing is every traveler's nightmare," Nina says gently. "But we'll figure something out. You're not alone in this." Alex feels tears prickling at the edges of their eyes. The situation feels overwhelming. And for a moment, they wonder if this is it, if this is the end of the road. Maybe it's time to pack up and go home. But then, just as quickly as the despair comes, Alex hears Nina's words again. "You're not alone. This journey hasn't been solo, it's been about connecting with others, about facing challenges together." Taking a deep breath, Alex wipes away the tears before they fall and looks up at their friends. "What should I do? I don't want to go home." Maya smiles softly. "You don't have to. We can help you until this gets sorted out." Over the next few days, Alex experiences a true test of resilience and trust. Maya, Nina, Luca, and even some of the other travelers at the hostel pitch in to help, offering small amounts of cash, meals, and moral support. It's an incredible display of generosity, one that reminds Alex of the kindness that exists in the world, even among strangers. But even with the support of their friends, Alex feels the weight of the situation pressing down on them. They've always prided themselves on being independent, on not relying on others, and now they're forced to accept help when they would rather be self-sufficient. It's a humbling experience, and one that challenges Alex's sense of identity. One evening, after another frustrating call with the bank that yields no immediate solution, Alex steps out onto the balcony of the hostel. The cool night air is refreshing, but it doesn't fully ease the anxiety twisting in their chest. Alex gazes out at the city lights, feeling a mixture of gratitude and frustration. They know they're lucky to have such supportive friends, but they can't shake the feeling of helplessness. Nina joins Alex on the balcony, leaning against the railing as they both watch the distant waves crashing against the shore. "You're handling this better than you think," Nina says after a few moments of silence. Alex shakes their head. "I don't feel like it. I feel like I've lost control of everything. This isn't what I wanted my journey to be like." Nina nods, understanding. "I get that. But travel doesn't always go the way we plan, does it? Sometimes it throws curveballs that force us to adapt. The ultimate test isn't whether things go wrong, it's how you handle it when they do." Alex considers her words. She's right. This experience, as frustrating as it is, doesn't have to define the journey. It's another challenge, another obstacle to overcome. And even though it's hard to see now, Alex knows they're learning something valuable: how to rely on others, how to let go of control, and how to keep going even when things feel uncertain. "I hate feeling like I'm depending on everyone," Alex admits softly. "I thought I'd be able to handle everything on my own." Nina smiles gently. "You don't have to handle everything alone. That's the beauty of traveling, you meet people along the way who help you, just like you'd help them if they were in your shoes." Alex nods, the tension in their chest easing a little. Maybe there's strength in accepting help, in letting others step in when you can't do it all yourself. Maybe that's part of the journey too. As the days pass, Alex finds ways to adapt. They start cutting back on expenses, opting for cheaper meals, walking instead of taking public transportation, and finding free activities around the city. The challenge becomes less about survival and more about learning to live simply, to appreciate the experience of travel without relying on money to define it. The friends they've made along the way become a lifeline, not just in practical ways but emotionally too. They share meals, talk late into the night, and offer words of encouragement when Alex feels the pressure of uncertainty creeping in. Each day brings small victories, and even though the financial situation remains unresolved, Alex begins to feel a new sense of resilience. In many ways, this feels like the ultimate test not just of Alex's ability to travel but of their ability to persevere when things go wrong. And slowly, they start to realize that this setback doesn't have to be the end of the journey. It's just a new chapter, one that's teaching them more than they ever expected. After nearly 2 weeks, Alex gets the call they've been waiting for. The bank has resolved the issue, and the blocked funds have been returned. Relief washes over them as they hear the news. And for the first time in what feels like forever, the weight on their shoulders lifts. That night, Alex celebrates with their friends, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the people who have helped them through the toughest part of the journey. The experience has changed them in ways they didn't expect. It's shown them the importance of community, the value of asking for help, and the strength that comes from facing challenges head-on. Sitting around the hostel's common room, laughing and sharing stories, Alex realizes that this ultimate test wasn't just about money or travel logistics. It was about growth, learning to navigate the unpredictability of life and trusting that, no matter what happens, they have the strength to keep moving forward. As the night winds down, Nina catches Alex's eye from across the room. She gives a knowing smile, and Alex smiles back, feeling a deep sense of connection and accomplishment. This journey may have been filled with unexpected tests, but Alex knows one thing for sure: they've passed the ultimate test of resilience, and now, they're ready for whatever comes next. Chapter 8: Resilience and Growth. As Alex walks along the coastline, the soft rhythm of the waves echoes in their ears, reminding them of the twists and turns their journey has taken. The path ahead is still uncertain, but that no longer intimidates them. They've faced every obstacle thrown their way, each one a test of their patience, courage, and resilience. Now, for the first time, Alex feels a sense of peace, knowing that this journey has made them stronger. Brighton skyline stretches in the distance, a familiar view that once seemed so vast and overwhelming. But today, it feels like a backdrop to Alex's own personal transformation. The fear of the unknown that had clung to them in the early days is gone, replaced by a quiet confidence. Every setback had taught them something new about themselves, about the world, and about the power of pushing through when things get tough. Facing the unexpected. The financial crisis they'd faced only weeks ago had felt like the end of the road at the time. But as Alex looks back on it now, they realize it was a turning point. It had forced them to rely on their friends, to accept help when they needed it most, and to realize that independence doesn't mean going it alone. Maya, Nina, and Luca had been more than just travel companions. They had become a lifeline, showing Alex the importance of connection and trust. The experience had stripped away Alex's fear of vulnerability. Asking for help hadn't made them weaker, it had made them stronger, more adaptable, and more in tune with the reality that travelin' is unpredictable. Learning to ride the waves, both literal and metaphorical, had become their new strength. Now, as Alex stands on the cliffs overlooking the sea, they breathe in deeply, feeling a sense of accomplishment that no postcard perfect moment could provide. This journey hadn't gone as planned, far from it, but it had delivered something far more valuable: growth. They had learned that resilience is about more than just surviving the tough times, it's about thriving in spite of them. But even as Alex reflects on how far they've come, a strange sense of anticipation stirs within them. Something feels different about today, a quiet hum of electricity in the air that they can't quite shake. The first omen. Later that afternoon, the group gathers at the hostel to discuss plans for the day. Maya suggests a final trip to the Brighton Pier, one last chance to enjoy the vibrant energy of the city before they all head their separate ways. The group agrees, excited for one more carefree adventure together. But as they set off down the street, Alex feels the first unsettling twinge of unease. The sky, which had been bright and clear all morning, begins to shift. Dark clouds roll in from the horizon, creeping toward the city in a way that feels almost unnatural. The wind picks up, whipping through the narrow streets, sending a chill down Alex's spine. Maya notices it too, glancing upward. "We should hurry before the weather gets worse," she says with a nervous laugh. Alex nods, but their instincts are on high alert. Something doesn't feel right. As they arrive at the pier, the once crowded boardwalk is eerily quiet. The usually packed amusement park ride sits still, their neon lights flickering in the growing gloom. The Ferris wheel looms over them, casting long shadows across the wooden planks. Nina frowns, looking around. "Is it always this empty?" "It's weird," Luca agrees, "especially for this time of day." They walk cautiously toward the pier's edge, where the ocean churns restlessly below. The sky has turned a bruised shade of purple, and the wind howls louder with every step. Alex's heart beats faster, that uneasy feeling growing stronger by the second. Something is wrong, very wrong. Suddenly, there's a sharp, deafening crack. Alex whips around just in time to see the Ferris wheel's metal frame lurch dangerously to one side. The ground beneath their feet trembles, and a sickening feeling of panic grips them. "We need to get out of here now," Alex shouts, their voice cutting through the wind. But before anyone can move, the pier itself gives a groan, the wooden beams beneath them creaking as if they're about to collapse. The group freezes, eyes wide with fear. The ultimate test. In that split second, everything they've learned about resilience, courage, and survival rushes to the forefront of Alex's mind. This is no longer just a journey of self-discovery, this is a fight for survival. The Ferris wheel groans again, tipping even further to the side. A bolt snaps, echoing through the eerie silence, and the massive structure begins to tilt toward the ocean below. "Run!" Alex screams, grabbing Maya's arm and yanking her forward just as the wheel crashes down with a thunderous roar, sending debris flying into the air. The group sprints toward the exit, but the pier is already falling apart beneath their feet. Planks crack and splinter, the ocean raging below as waves crash violently against the supports. Alex's heart races as they leap over gaps in the wood, dodging falling beams and debris. The wind howls like a living thing, determined to pull them down into the depths. But Alex refuses to give in to fear. This is the ultimate test, the culmination of everything they've learned about resilience and growth. They can't give up now. A final reckoning. As the group reaches the end of the pier, Alex glances back, their breath catching in their throat. The Ferris wheel lies half submerged in the sea, and the entire structure is beginning to collapse. But then, through the chaos, Alex sees something that freezes them in place. Nina is still on the pier. She's trapped on a section that's crumbling fast, unable to reach the others. Her eyes are wide, with terror as she clings to a railing that's about to give way. Alex feels their heart lurch in their chest. Without thinking, they turn and sprint back toward her. Every instinct tells them to run the other way, to save themselves, but Alex's feet move before their brain can catch up. This is their friend, the one who had been there for them when everything fell apart. They can't leave her behind. "Nina! Hold on!" Alex shouts, reaching out just as the final section of the pier begins to collapse beneath Nina's feet. Alex lunges forward, grabbing her hand in the nick of time. But the weight of the collapsing pier pulls them both down. They teeter on the edge, the icy water swirling below, as Alex fights to keep their grip. "Don't let go," Alex gasps, pulling with all their strength as the wind roars in their ears. "I'm not letting go," Nina cries, her voice shaking with fear. With one final heave, Alex pulls Nina up, dragging her onto the last solid piece of the pier just before the structure crashes into the sea. Both of them collapse, gasping for breath, their hearts pounding in their chests. They did it. They survived. But as they look back at the wreckage, the reality of what just happened sinks in. The journey isn't over yet. This wasn't just another test, it was the final reckoning. And they passed, not because they were fearless, but because they faced their fears and refused to give up. An unexpected turn. As Alex and Nina sit on the edge of the ruined pier, staring out at the churning ocean, they feel a strange sense of calm settle over them. The storm that had threatened to end everything has passed. But then, just as they begin to catch their breath, a shadow appears on the horizon, a massive ship, its lights flickering ominously in the distance. And in that moment, Alex realizes something they hadn't before. This was never about just surviving Brighton. Something much bigger is coming. Chapter 9, Return Home. After the near disaster at Brighton Pier, Alex's world feels quieter, calmer, as though the storm both within and around them has passed. The adrenaline from that terrifying day slowly fades, leaving behind a profound sense of relief and gratitude. They are alive, their friends are safe, and somehow, they've made it through what felt like an impossible situation. But with the realization of survival comes a new feeling: the journey is nearing its end. The trip that began as a wild adventure, a test of courage, resilience, and self-discovery, has reached its final chapter. And now, Alex knows it's time to return home. Reflection on the journey. The morning after the collapse of the pier, Alex sits on the balcony of the hostel, sipping a hot cup of tea as they watch the sun rise. The colors of dawn paint the sky in soft hues of pink and orange, casting long shadows over the city below. Its peace feels a stark contrast to the chaos and danger of the day before. For the first time in weeks, Alex allows themselves to slow down, to breathe, and to reflect on everything that's happened. This trip has been nothing like what they expected. When they first set out from home, they imagined adventure, excitement, and maybe a little bit of danger. What they hadn't counted on were the moments of fear and doubt. The nights spent questioning their decisions, and the challenges that seemed insurmountable. But through it all, Alex has grown in ways they never thought possible. They think back to the day they arrived in Brighton, full of optimism but secretly terrified of the unknown. They remember the mugging, the financial crisis, and the collapse of the pier, each moment a test of their strength and resilience. And yet, it wasn't the challenges themselves that defined the journey, but the way they responded to them. Every time life knocked them down, Alex stood up again, stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. And now, after everything, the person staring out at the sunrise feels different. Alex is different. They are no longer the person who left home with doubts and fears. They found a deeper sense of self, a confidence that comes from facing the unknown and thriving in the process. They've learned to trust their instincts, to rely on others, and to embrace the unpredictability of life. Most of all, they've learned that growth often comes from the hardest moments, the moments when you want to give up but choose to keep going anyway. A heartfelt goodbye. Later that morning, Alex meets up with the group: Nina, Maya, and Luca, for one final breakfast together. The atmosphere is bittersweet. They've all been through so much together, sharing laughter, tears, and experiences that have bonded them in ways few other relationships could. Saying goodbye feels like closing a chapter, but it's a necessary part of the journey. Hard to believe this is the last breakfast, Maya says, her voice tinged with sadness as she looks around the table. Nina nods, her usual bright smile softer today. Yeah, it feels like we've been here forever. But at the same time, like it all happened so fast. Alex glances at their friends, feeling a swell of gratitude for each of them. These people had become their family on the road, supporting them when they felt lost and cheering them on through every obstacle. They know these friendships will last, no matter how far apart they end up. I'm really going to miss you all, Alex admits, their voice thick with emotion. You've made this trip so much more than I ever expected. I wouldn't have made it without you. Nina reaches across the table and squeezes Alex's hand. We're always just a message away. And who knows? Maybe our paths will cross again somewhere else in the world. Luca grins, his eyes twinkling. Or we plan a reunion trip, maybe somewhere less chaotic next time, though. They all laugh, and for a moment, the heaviness of the impending goodbye lifts. The rest of breakfast is spent reminiscing about their adventures, the close calls, and the ridiculous moments that made the trip unforgettable. As they leave the cafe, the group takes one last walk through the city. The streets of Brighton, which had once seemed so unfamiliar, now feel like home. Every corner holds a memory, some good, some bad, but all of them meaningful. By the time they reach the train station, there are hugs, promises to stay in touch, and more than a few tears. As Alex boards the train, a feeling of closure washes over them. It's time to go home, but they aren't leaving anything behind. They're taking everything they've learned with them, carrying the memories, the friendships, and the lessons back to where it all started. The journey home. The train ride home is quiet, giving Alex plenty of time to reflect. As they watch the countryside roll by, a sense of calm settles over them. Returning home doesn't feel like the end of something, it feels like the beginning of a new chapter, one where Alex steps back into their life with a new perspective. They think about all the things waiting for them at home, their family, their old friends, and the familiar comforts of life before the trip. But now, they also think about what's different. The person they're bringing back is not the same person who left. There's a strength inside Alex now that wasn't there before. A resilience born from the challenges they faced, and a quiet confidence that they can handle whatever life throws at them next. The journey may have tested them, but it also shaped them, turning fear into courage and uncertainty into growth. As the train approaches the station, Alex feels a flutter of excitement. Home no longer feels like a retreat from adventure, it feels like the next step in the journey. There are new opportunities to explore, new challenges to face, and new ways to continue growing. The final lesson. Stepping off the train, Alex is greeted by the familiar sights and sounds of home. The streets they've walked 1,000 times feel both new and comforting. There's a sense of belonging here, but also a realization that the world is much bigger than it once seemed. The horizon no longer feels like the edge of possibility, it's just the beginning. As they walk toward their house, Alex takes a deep breath, feeling the weight of the journey settle into their bones. They've returned home, but in many ways, they're still on the road. The lessons they've learned, the resilience they've built, and the confidence they've gained are all part of who they are now. The door to Alex's house creaks open, and with it, a sense of finality and new beginnings fills the air. They step inside, feeling both familiar and changed, ready to face whatever comes next. In that moment, Alex knows one thing for certain. This journey isn't over. It never really will be. Because the ultimate lesson they've learned is this: life itself is the greatest adventure of all, and with resilience and growth, they are ready for whatever comes next. A sudden twist. But just as Alex sets their bag down and begins to relax, a notification buzzes on their phone, a message from Nina. It's a voice memo, her voice shaky and rushed. "Alex, you're not going to believe this. Something happened. Something big. I need you to call me. Now." Alex's heart skips a beat, their fingers trembling as they dial her number. Just when they thought the journey was over, it looks like the adventure is only just beginning again. Chapter 10, New Beginning. The message from Nina lingers in Alex's mind, gnawing at them long after they end the call. Her voice had sounded rushed, filled with tension and urgency, so unlike the relaxed, adventurous spirit that Alex had come to know over the course of their travels. Something is wrong. Something big. The day after returning home was supposed to be a day of rest, a day to reflect on the journey, reconnect with family, and start settling back into a routine. But as Alex lies in bed, staring at the ceiling in the dim morning light, they know that rest won't come easily. The adventure isn't over. Not yet. Without waiting any longer, Alex grabs their phone and calls Nina. The phone rings twice before she answers, her voice breathless but relieved. "Alex, thank God. I wasn't sure you'd call so soon." "Nina, what's going on? What happened?" Alex's heart is already racing, anticipation making their chest tighten. Nina takes a deep breath before launching into her explanation. "You remember how weird everything felt at the pier, right? The storm, the Ferris wheel collapsing, it was like something bigger was happening. Well, I just found out why." Alex sits up in bed, wide awake now. Why? What are you talking about? There was more going on behind the scenes than we realized. The collapse at the pier wasn't just a freak accident. I did some digging, and it turns out that there was sabotage. Someone wanted that pier to go down, Alex. And that same group, whoever they are, might be planning something even worse. Alex's blood runs cold. Sabotage? It sounds impossible. But after everything they've been through, the idea no longer feels out of the realm of possibility. Wait, you think someone deliberately caused that disaster? Alex asks, trying to wrap their mind around the idea. Yes, and I have proof. But I'm not the only one who's found out. They're after me now, Alex. I had to leave Brighton. I'm staying low for now, but I can't do this alone. I need your help. The request hits Alex like a punch to the gut. Just when they thought life was returning to normal, they're being pulled back into a world of danger and mystery. 1,000 thoughts race through their mind: fear, excitement, uncertainty, but one stands out above the rest: Nina is in trouble. And Alex can't just sit back and do nothing. Tell me where you are, Alex says, their voice steady, though their hands tremble. I'm in London. Meet me at the old clock tower on Hampstead Road. I'll explain everything when you get here. But be careful. If I'm right, they're watching. Alex hangs up the phone, heart pounding, and stares at their reflection in the mirror. The person looking back at them is not the same person who left home weeks ago. They're stronger now, more resilient, and ready to face whatever comes next, even if it means diving headfirst into danger again. A new mission. As Alex boards the train to London, a sense of déjà vu washes over them. It feels like the beginning of the trip all over again, only this time, the stakes are higher. Much higher. This isn't just about self-discovery or personal growth anymore. This is about survival, about protecting a friend, and uncovering a truth that seems far bigger than anything they've ever faced. The city blurs past as the train speeds toward London, but Alex's mind is sharper than ever. They think back to their time in Brighton, the moments that now seem suspicious in retrospect. The eerie calm before the storm, the sudden collapse of the Ferris wheel, the strange behavior of some of the people around the pier. Could Nina really be right? Could there have been a deliberate plot behind it all? It doesn't seem possible, but then again, life has a way of surprising you. As the train pulls into the station, Alex steels themselves for what's to come. Whatever this is, they know it won't be easy. But they've faced fear before and come out stronger on the other side. This time will be no different. A dangerous truth. The meeting spot Nina had chosen, a weathered clock tower tucked away on a quiet street in Hampstead, feels like the perfect place for a clandestine encounter. The area is empty, the air thick with tension. Alex pulls up the hood of their jacket, scanning the surroundings as they approach the tower. Just as they reach the entrance, Nina steps out from the shadows, her face tense but determined. You came, she says, relief evident in her voice. Of course I did. Now tell me everything. Nina wastes no time, pulling Alex into the dim shelter of the tower. She hands over a folder stuffed with documents, photographs, and newspaper clippings. Alex flips through them, their pulse quickening as they scan the evidence. There's a group, Nina explains in a hushed voice. A network of people who are trying to disrupt major public events and structures. They want to create chaos, but no one knows why yet. The pier was just one of their targets. Alex's mind reels as they piece together the information. How did you even find all of this out? I overheard something at the hostel after the collapse. A couple of people talking about the mission and making it look like an accident. I followed them, did some digging, and stumbled across this conspiracy. They know I'm onto them, Alex. That's why I had to leave. Alex feels a chill run down their spine. And now they're after you. Nina nods. They'll come after anyone who tries to stop them. But we have to do something. This isn't just about me anymore. Alex takes a deep breath, absorbing the weight of what Nina is saying. The stakes are higher than they ever imagined. But as terrifying as it is, Alex knows they can't walk away. Not now. What do we do next? Alex asks, their voice steady. We find out who's really behind this, Nina replies, her eyes flashing with determination. And we stop them before they can hurt anyone else. The new beginning. In that moment, Alex realizes that their journey hasn't ended, it's just taken a new turn. What started as a personal quest for growth and self-discovery has transformed into something far bigger, something that could change everything. As they step back into the streets of London, Alex feels a new sense of purpose burning inside them. This is more than just an adventure now. It's a mission. A mission to uncover the truth, protect their friends, and face whatever danger lies ahead. The world is still as unpredictable as ever, but now Alex knows that they are strong enough to handle it. They've survived storms, both literal and figurative. They've faced fear, doubt, and uncertainty, and come out stronger each time. And now, they're ready to face whatever comes next, no matter how dangerous it might be. Because sometimes, the only way to truly grow is to step into the unknown. As Alex and Nina walk down the narrow streets, their eyes scanning for danger, Alex can't help but think about how far they've come since that first day in Brighton. This is a new beginning. Not just for them, but for their entire life. One filled with mystery, danger, and a purpose they never anticipated. They may not know what the future holds, but one thing is clear, the adventure is far from over. The final revelation. As they continue walking, Alex's phone buzzes with a new message. They glance down at the screen and freeze. It's an unknown number, but the message sends a jolt of fear through their veins. We know what you're up to. You won't stop us. Alex shows the message to Nina, who pales. It's them, she whispers. The game has just begun. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and tap the notification bell so you never miss out when we upload new content. Stay tuned for more exciting videos coming your way. And don't forget to check out our next video, How to Speak English Fast, designed to help you free your mind and speed up your reading, writing, and fluency in English. You won't want to miss it.